Question 835. What is the objective and universal meaning of life?
Say that again.
I was going to say 42 first.
What is the
You just did, didn't ya?
Oh shit, so I did.
So did Nerdy. What is the objective and universal meaning of life?
It ends.
It's a laugh, isn't it?
It's a laugh, isn't it?
Life isn't it?
Does it end? That's a life. A life ends.
Does it have to be both?
I don't think, to be quite honest, I don't think either exist.
Yeah, that's what's going to be my answer. You can't have a universal meaning because I think meaning for life is a personal thing.
No, I don't think it is.
And
Again,
therefore it's
you're
not
talking about a
objective
life. Again, you're talking about a life, not life.
Well, I don't. You can't. How can you have a universal meaning to life in general?
I think you can. I think.
No, you can't.
No,
you might,
No, I think you can.
No,
I think to exist.
No,
I think you're wrong.
You think,
I think you're wrong, Dave.
I think you can have a meaning in the sense of to exist, to replicate, to continue exist, and this is on a
All right,
chemical
so the
level.
basic premise of life is to reproduce.
I'm not even convinced I would go as far as to say to reproduce, but I would accept that as a way to. I'd say to continue.
The only way you could have a universal meaning is if you take it down to the microbial level. So
Yes.
where life is its most basic, and
Completely
what
agree.
That's the only way
Well, then,
you can make
then
it.
it's
And at
replication.
that point, the only point of life is to reproduce.
No, again, I think reproduce there is necessarily wrong. I mean, you have animals that or not. You don't really have animals, but you have things that don't reproduce but continue to replace themselves, to replace parts of them. You have like the tree that is probably immortal. It just grows more of itself and more of itself and more of itself and more of itself and more of
But
itself.
that's a form of reproduction.
Like I said,
I suggest
more.
that reproduction
It's
is not
producing
the goal.
more. Yes.
That
I would
reproduction
accept.
is
I
not
would
the
accept.
goal.
I will accept
It's
to reproduce.
secondary.
I just think that it's
It's
not. I don't think it's broad
The meaning of
enough.
life- The meaning of life would be to feed itself.
To feed itself, to consume.
To feed, to consume, and feed itself, without which it cannot reproduce.
Sammy says orgasms, and then a few lines later screams exactly orgasms. Hanging with John Wells says, "Well, I can tie half the question with the sex thing." Ed
Does
says,
the
"I think
paramecium have orgasm?
no. I think
How do you
life is." I tried for hours and couldn't manage to pull it off.
What? Hang on, you were talking about orgasms, and you just said you tried for hours.
Yes, to give it one.
Sometimes it takes that long.
Ed says,
It's
"I think
good when
life."
you've got a man to do that. But most of them don't manage that long.
You got to get a man in. I think life is bullshit. I'm tired of it.
Yeah.
Honestly, if you want to last that long, you got to get a woman in.
Ike says, life is accidentally complex via self-reproducing macromolecules, therefore personal meaning is what we find in our random interactions. Biological meaning is to make more.
Exactly.
this is it.
Thank you.
Yes, I agree. Jeff!
Thank you.
Right, question is, what meaning of life?
No, what is the objective and universal meaning of life?
Well, I don't know. I mean, it's difficult to answer that because some things in life are bad. They can really make you mad. Other things make you swear and curse. You're chewing on life's gristle. Don't grumble, give a whistle. And this'll help things turn out for the best. And...
Always look on the bright side of life.
I think that we're... Oh, stop it. I think we're all taking this in the completely wrong direction. If you're asking what the meaning of life is, we're giving you the answer of what is the goal of life, and the meaning and the goal are two different things. The meaning of life is to exist, to understand itself And since it
Do
all
it?
comes from, the universe itself, it's the universe's attempt to understand itself.
I completely disagree with most of that. I agree with what I said at the first. I think the meaning of life is to exist.
Yeah.
I'm not even convinced there is a meaning to life, to be honest.
That's to life of life. Anyway, we shall move on.
Which is why we bring it into the conscious state to create the meaning as we each see fit.
So, but that thing, there was no meaning to life until sentient life evolved.
But even then, if it's talking about sentient life, it still then comes down to a philosophical question, isn't it? Like what's the purpose? Whether it be what the meaning of life, what's life all about? What's the purpose of existence? Those are all philosophical.
Which, from the point of view of a philosophical meaning, there is no universal meaning of life.
Yeah,
David, this is simply an invalid question. Move on.
Of course it is.
Move on.
Hanging with John, he's got the answer here. Life is the search of the elusive and rare orgasm. Once you find it, life is no longer worth it.
Oh, well,
Next
I
question.
don't know. You could look for it a second time, and a third time, and a fourth time, all in one night.
Yeah, we're talking about guys here.
well,
how do you know? You can't possibly know it's the ultimate because you haven't experienced all of them.
No, we have to keep
Yeah.
I'll
trying.
try some more.
Exactly.
If you enjoyed that, please hit the thumbs up button. If you didn't, hit the thumbs down. If you think you've got a better answer or just want to tell us how wrong we are, leave a comment down below. Subscribe down here for new questions every day and make sure you hit the bell so you don't miss out on our live shows. If you click over here, you'll see our latest upload. Over here, for what YouTube thinks you'll love the most. And finally, for a complete playlist of all our currently released questions, click here.